Hey, it's Aaron from GameEnthus.com, and in this video I'm checking out Oddland, designed by Schumacher, with art from Kendell, and is published by Allplay. In Oddland, players are going to be placing cards and building patterns and environments collectively to score their flora and several fauna in numerous ways. Let me show you how it plays. Okay, so at the top here we have the species. Might be kind of hard to see, but I'll put some other things in line so you can get where they are. So I guess for your beginning games, they suggest that you don't score the flora, but normally you're gonna have 6 different species out. So the flora is 1 point per space and territory, so a grouping of different territories. There's 4 different territories. You have forest, mountain, shore, and water. So those 4 different territories. So you would score 1 space per territory that has your flora on it. This is the plan, the flora. And for a 5-player game, I think everybody only has 1 flora, but I guess in 2 and 3 players, I forget about solo. I think you keep multiple in solo. I think for 1 solo and 2 or 3 players, you would keep multiple. You would not put 1 flora back in the box. So you're gonna score 1 point per territory. So it's like whatever grouping that you're on, that's what you get. The Grizzly. Also, these are on side A. It's just for your first games. You play on side A. There's a side B, and the flora, like I said earlier, have multiples. There's a bunch of different ones for flora. I think it's A, B, C, D, E. Oh, up to F. So A is actually nothing. So A is like you don't really score it. But I'm just showing you B for right now. You have the Grizzly, so that's 3 points per surrounding mountain. So if you have mountains that surround your Grizzly, you would score a lot of them. So you have the Kangaroo, which is also fun to say. Kangaroo. Kangaroo is 4 points per species in a row or column, whichever has fewer. The Owloose, which is a portmanteau of owl and moose, score 2 points per forest in all diagonal directions. So that'll be from where the owl moose is. So it'll be going like that or like that. Even if you're skipping stuff, but it's just any diagonal direction out from it. Interesting. The Brigader, 2 points per space in neighboring water territories. Neighboring, meaning the territory that all the territories that it's touching. So if you look here, you can see where the Brigader is. It's everything else around it. And then the pigeon horse, I guess. 2 points per shore in territory. So your turn is fairly simple. You're going to play a map card. I'll play from the blue players here. You're going to play a map card, and then you're going to put 1 of your species on a territory. So I mean, the game is relatively quick. Like, what does the box say here? The box says 30 minutes. Yeah, that's pretty accurate. So you're going to play a map card, and other rules are you must touch another card along at least 1 space, and you may cover up to 2 empty spaces. So if I were to play this, I can't go like this. I can't just cover a card up entirely. I can cover up to 2. So kind of 1 or up to 2 spaces I can cover. And then lastly, I would just draw back up. Then that's a turn. So you kind of want to take a look at what animal scores what. So taking a look at that, I might say, maybe I put this here, which builds a territory of 5 different mountains, yay for me. And I think about maybe the Grizzly. So 3 points per surrounding mountain tile. Now, it's going to change. So even if I start off with my Grizzly smack dab right here, my opponents can come in and start to cover things up and kind of change the landscape there, which they'd be incentivized to do that because they don't want me to win. They want to win. They're so selfish. You also cannot cover up someone else's token, so my opponent can't come in and do this. Once a token is out there, you cannot cover them up. You can cover up things around a token, but not the token itself. And also, no other species can be in your territory. The rules do specify an exception where if you put down a particular card, it could bridge two species that are already out there, but you can't put something down that connects to that territory and then put a token on it. If it just so happens that it bridges it, it is what it is. You just can't do it intentionally, if that makes sense. And that's kind of it. So let's say the green player over here would go, what are they looking at? Maybe they want to, maybe they're like, they probably don't want to help me, so they can't really come in here and like connect that and then say, okay, well, that's a huge territory now. We put my grizzly on it. No, because that will be two species in the same territory. They can't do that. They got to think about something else. So let's say they do this. They do that. And then they're going to take their brigader. Remember, the brigader can get 2 points per space in neighboring water territories. So they put that there. They would draw it back up. Really could have used that earlier, but that's okay. You're going to cover up people's stuff. That's just how the game is going to work. So right now they would have 4 points for those, because they're not on the water. They're next to water. So any water territory that's neighboring them, and neighboring according to the card it's neighboring whatever territory they're on. So it's not necessarily orthogonal or adjacent to their position. It's whatever territory. So if this forest grows and then more water is touching it, Brigader will get 2 points for all that. And then last but certainly not least, let's say the orange player plays this here, and then they put their Pidgeots on it. And the Pidgeots are going to score 2 points for every shore in their territory, including the one they're on. That was my assumption. And including the one that they're on. So that's how a round would go. They would also draw back up. Like I said, there's 4 territories. This one really kind of encapsulates, this is it, shore, mountain, water, forest. That's all of them. And then in the big and bold expansion, you have the Whalephant and the Cheetoys, which are additional species that you can use. So you only put up, up to 6 out there. So you would swap out for one of these and then, well, whichever one you want to put. There are 8 total with the expansion, but you just put 6 out, including the flora. The rest are fauna. They're all animals. And they have some different scoring conditions as well. And then at the bottom, there's a lot of solo up there. You know how, I don't know if people will play the game like Cartographers, where in the solo mode, you deduct points for the certain cards you have out there. These work the same way. Like a lot of these, because of the A side, like for the Pangaroo and the Owloose, you don't deduct anything. It says, but then for the Brigader, you deduct 3 points. You deduct 4 for the Grizzly. You deduct 12 in the solo mode for the Whalephant. It might be kind of hard to see, but yeah. But that is Oddland. And then in addition to this nice lovely cardboard that works just fine, they also there's some, you can really like spice it up if you wish, and kind of add these. So let me show you the difference here. So you have the cardboard that comes with the standard, and then you have like the really nice scaled up pieces, little wooden pieces here, which are smaller but nicer, and that they don't come out of little stands unless you want to break it and have to glue it back, but they're a little smaller. They definitely work better. I mean, for this video, it was easier to show you stuff from top down, obviously, but these are very nice. And then you have one for each color, which I probably should like group them how they should be. That might make sense for me to do. And then there's one for all 5 players. So yeah, those are nice. It's just easier to record showing from the top down for very obvious reasons. So that is a brief overview of how Outland is played. Until what my thoughts are. I definitely do enjoy a nice pattern building game, tiles or cards or what have you. Interesting thing about Oddland is that you are not building your own tableau. you're placing things in a central area where what you're building and scoring can be ruined by other players. But that's the game. I mean, that's the challenge, is to build things out in such a way where, despite your opponents doing everything they can to thwart your attempts at scoring, you still can come out on top. I do think Oddland is a pretty quick and punchy game. I appreciate the variety of ways that the different flora, the flora and different fauna can all score. It's a fun game. I do enjoy it, despite it not really doing anything wild or wildly new or inventive. It doesn't really have to. Another unique aspect for Oddland is that you don't really, you're building up overall, but per species, per flora or fauna, you're making a decision on your turn. You're choosing how you're going to score that particular plant or creature, and there's no, well, if I play these two things, I can sort of build my way up and really maximize it. No, it forces you to just make a choice. Like, I have to take this thing here now because I see a lot of forests that are sort of in the diagonal, so this is my chance. And something like that, I forgot which animal it is, but I think it's the goat one. Whatever one scores for the forest and the diagonals, I thought that was unique because, yes, people are going to place cars on top of that and potentially ruin it, but because it's not scoring like one contiguous mass, like, I feel like it stood a better chance. And I think that's where the uniqueness comes into play very well, where because the different types of scoring are so different, it gives you it can cause some kind of AP when you're on your turn, which you only have 2 cars, so there's only so much you can really do. So you can't have too much AP, analysis paralysis, but it forces you to not really think about, oh, hey, this will be the most optimal time to place this creature here because they like being surrounded by, in this particular environment. Now, you might be able to bolster some of that as time goes on and subsequent turns. You might not be, but that's what I like about the game. I do like it. I think it's fun. Type of game where somebody says, hey, you want to play Oddland? Sure, I'll play it. I might not always be in my bag when I bring it places, despite its small size, but if somebody says, hey, Aaron, you want to play Oddland? I'd say sure, for the most part. And I did enjoy the solo game, so whenever I ask myself I want to play Oddland, typically because I'm asking, I've said yes, so that's also a thing. Anyway, those are my thoughts on Oddland, so do with that what you will. Anyway, thank you for watching. Take care, stay safe, and be blessed.